G'day, Steve here, Woodworking Masterclass. Just about to do some dovetails for a harp that I'm building, and I thought I might as well stream it because one of the biggest hassles people seem to have in woodwork when they get into it is dovetails. Believe me, there's nothing hard about it. If you can do a mortise and tenon joint, you can do a dovetail. And a lot of people say it's the pinnacle of fine woodwork. It's not, in my opinion. It is just another joint. And quite easy to do. I'll show you a very easy way of setting it out and cutting them, and the next video I'll do is cutting the sockets. So this is going to cover how to cut the dovetails, and then the next video will transfer how to transfer the tails onto the sockets and cut the sockets. This is a little bit different because it's not a 90-degree piece of wood like that. It's actually on an angle. It's on this box here. As you can see, that's not straight. So they're the dovetails, but they're on an angle. But the dovetails aren't on an angle, the sockets are on an angle. So this is how I set it out. Grab your piece of wood, make sure it's machined up. It's nice if it's sanded. This isn't sanded, but I can sand it, which I will do later on. And pick one piece and one end. So I'm going to pick this end here. You'll need a ruler, and I'm sure there's many ways of setting them out. This is the way I set mine out, so you are more than welcome to try another way, but this is what I reckon is the easiest way. I've got a ruler. If you're metric, measure in 3 mil. If you're imperial, measure in 1/8 of an inch from each end. Now you can, if you want to get really technical about it, use a marking gauge, which works pretty well. Make sure that your pencil is always nice and sharp, because the more you use your pencil, the wider the point gets and the less accurate it's going to be. So what I've done is marked in 1/8 of an inch each side on that line. Now I want 5 dovetails. So what I'm going to do is divide it into 5, and to do that, very, very simple. All you do is get a regular ruler and get something that's divisible by 5. In this case, 5 inches will be divisible by 5. So you put the corner of the ruler on that 1/8 inch line you drew and swing the ruler around until the 5 inch touches the other line here. And then you just simply mark off the inches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that now is divided into 5 equal parts. Nothing complicated so far. Get a square, just bring those lines down. Okay, now we've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces, 6 lines. Work out how deep you want your dovetails to be. In my case, I want them 9/16 or 15 mil. So I'm just going to set a marking gauge up, and I think that's pretty close to being what I want. That'll do. And I'm lightly going to score, only lightly, all the way around. and that should all meet up. So now I've got 5 lines and a score line. Now, what you do, you simply mark an 1/8 of an inch either side of each of these lines. We can do it this way, it's going to be easier. So mark an 1/8 of an inch there, then an 1/8 of an inch before that line, an 1/8 of an inch after. The next one is an 1/8 before and an 1/8 after. 1/8 before, 1/8 after. 1/8 before, 1/8 after. And on the final one, just do that. I don't know if you can see those lines. I'll put a knife mark in so you can see them. And I'm only going to mark those lines that I moved an 1/8 of an inch on. Those main lines, when we divided it into 5, they just get left alone. In fact, what we can do, and we will, so it doesn't confuse everyone. There you go. So I've got little notches in there now. We'll rub all those lines out, because the more lines you got, the easier you're going to get confused. So all we've got now is those indents and a depth line here. Get your whichever jig you're using, or I mean if you don't want to use a jig, you can use a sliding bevel and make your own up. It really doesn't matter. Now you just draw from that scored line back. So the edge of this jig is on that cut line. And then turn it over and come back the other way. Isn't that nice? Someone just got a new motorbike for Christmas and they're trying it out. Okay, there's the dovetails. All marked out and nicely spaced. What I do now is, with a pencil, scribble in where you're going to be taking the waste from. That's it. To make it easy, so you can transfer these, you don't have to set that all out again. Get the other bit of timber, if you're doing a drawer or something like that. Make sure it's all nicely square, pop it in the vise, get your square and a knife, and just transfer those lines over. The trick is you put your knife into the line you want, slide the square up to it, make the cut. Put your knife in the mark, square up to it, square up to it. Okay. And there you have that. Now all you've got to do, drop that down a little bit so you can see. Put your knife in there, a little bit of a mark, bit of a mark. There you go. And again, with your dovetail jig, put it the appropriate way so you get it all going in the same direction. Pencil in, move it up. Because if you go the other way, put the jig on the mark and then do the pencil line, that leads to inaccuracies. Whereas if you've got your pencil exactly where you want it, you're going to be okay. Whoops, one this side. Now your marking gauge should be set from the depth that you wanted before. Now all you do, lightly mark around there, all the way around. So that's 2 sets drawn up really, really easily. And then you obviously get one, turn it around to do this side, turn that one around to do that one, then you've got all 4 cut. Then we can start cutting them. So I'll just go ahead and mark those out. And when I come back, we'll have it set up and we'll do some cutting. And there you have it. All set out quite easily. That's a very effective way of setting out your dovetails. It's quick, it's easy, and it's accurate. And that is a really handy way of dividing things up, just by using a ruler. Doesn't matter if it's imperial or metric or fractions, does not matter, it works. Okay, so now to cut the dovetails, and I'll do that in the following video. Thanks for watching. Look forward to having you in the workshop again very, very soon. Till then, this is Steve, pulling the shed door down, saying remember to keep it sharp, but more importantly, keep it safe. Look after yourself, be kind to each other. Catch up with you later on. Bye for now.